ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Welcome back. So today we are going to complete chapter 12. The last section we will study today, which consists of 8 verses altogether, 13 to 20. Here we will see Bhagavan states the different qualities of a devotee. So we will start from verse number 13. अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः. Can you see? Is it visible? Okay. Again. अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखः सुखः क्षमी Santushta satatam yogi yatatma dridhanishchayaha mayyarpitamano buddhir yomad bhaktas same priyaha. Synonyms: Adveshta, non-envious. Sarva bhutanam, toward all living entities. Maitraha, friendly. Karunaha, kindly. Eva, certainly. Cha, also. Nirmamaha, with no sense of proprietorship. Nirahankaraha, without false ego. Sama, equal. Dukkha, in distress. Sukhaha, in happiness. Kshami, forgiving. Santushtaha, satisfied. Satatam, always. Yogi, one engaged in devotion. Yata atma, self-controlled. Dridhanishchayaha, with determination. Mai, upon me. Arpita, engaged. Manaha, mind. Buddhihi, and intelligence. Yaha, one who. Madbhaktaha, my devotee. Saha, he. Me, to me. Priyaha, dear. Translation: one who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal to in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So, we see Adveshta. He is not envious to anybody. He is non-envious towards all living entities. And he considers that due to my previous bad karma, someone is behaving as an enemy, like an enemy with me. So he does not protest and tolerates silently. That is why he is Adveshta. He is not even envious to his so-called enemy. And then Maitraha, we see, means he is friendly. Why he is friendly to everybody? Because he can see, can feel the presence of Parameshvara in every living entity. So he is friendly to everyone. And Karunaha, he is so kind to everybody that the joy what he had received through God consciousness, he wants to spread that God consciousness to everyone. And for that, he is ready to overcome all dangers. He is ready to accept any kind of danger in the path. So he is very kind. And Nirmamaha, because he is aloof from the bodily pain or distress, because he knows very well that he is not this material body. And why he is nirahankaraha? Because he does not consider this body as his real entity, real identity. And that is why he is completely devoid of false ego. And then sama dukkha sukha. So he is always at peace, tolerant, whether happiness comes or distress comes. Then kshami, he is forgiving to everyone, and for that matter, he is tolerant. So they are all related to each other, we can see. And then santushtaha. Santushtaha means satisfied in all circumstances. Why? Because he is so contained by receiving anything which the Lord mercifully gives him. He considers everything as the mercy of the Lord. So he is very satisfied. Satatam yogi, because he is always following the instructions of the Lord and the Guru. So that is the eagerness to follow the instructions of the Lord and the instructions of Guru. So he is Satatam Yogi, always engaged or always connected with the divine. And Yatatma, that is, he is restrained by character. And then Dridhanishchayaha. So he is so fixed in his devotional path that nobody can deviate him from his conviction. That is why he is Dridhanishchaya. And Mai Arpita Mano Buddhihi. As he is already having all these 11 qualities, so his mind and his intelligence is completely dedicated at the lotus feet of the Lord. And now we will go to the next verse, where the Lord will describe about a few more qualities. Okay. Yasmannudvijate loko lokannudvijate chayaha harshamarshabhayodvegai mukto yah sachame priyaha. Synonyms. Yasmat, from whom, na, never, udvijate, are agitated, lokaha, people, lokat, from people, na, never, udvijate, is disturbed, cha, also, yaha, anyone who, Harsha from happiness, Amarsha distress, Bhaya fear, Udvegaihi and anxiety, Muktaha freed, Yaha who, Saha anyone, Cha also, Me to me, Priyaha very dear. Translation. He by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. So, we see a devotee can never be the cause of others' distress or cannot disturb anyone, cannot put anyone into difficulty. It is his natural character. Why? Because he is kind to everyone. He is friendly to everyone. So it is not possible for him to put anyone into difficulty. And he is not disturbed by anyone also. Because he is so fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. His mind is very steady and stable. So the external factors, and as we just said, he is nirmama nirahankara. So he is devoid of false ego. He is devoid of proprietorship, the concept of proprietorship. So he is not agitated by the external disturbances. Harsha Marsha, okay. Harsha Marsha Bhaya Udvagi Muktaha. So he is Muktaha, that is free from Harsha, happiness, Amarsha, unhappiness, Bhayaha, fear, Udvegehi, anxiety. So all these emotions cannot create any impact on his mind. Then is anapekshaha. Anapekshaha. Because he has no expectation. Whatever comes in the natural way, he accepts it. He may have plenty of money, property, etc. Or he may live on the street under the shade of a tree. So he remains equipoised. And it is not that his expectation, he has some expectation from anything. So when he stays in a palace, that also creates no impact on his mind. So he does not struggle for earning money. It is his character. And then is Shuchihi. 16 is Shuchihi, that is cleanliness, both internal and external. That is, mind is also pure and purity is also maintained externally. taking bath many times in a day, wearing proper washed clothes and everything. So these are the things that he maintains. Then is Dakshaha. Oh, sorry, we haven't read that. Anapeksha also we haven't recited. Okay, so this is verse 16. Anapeksha shuchir udasino gata vyathaha sarvarambha parityagi yo madbhaktas same priyaha. Synonyms: Anapekshaha, neutral; Shuchihi, pure; Dakshaha, expert; Udasinaha, free from care; Gatavyathaha, freed from all distress; Sarva Arambha, of all endeavors; Parityagi, renouncer; Yaha, anyone who; Madbhaktaha, my devotee; Saha, he; Me, to me; Priyaha, very dear. Translation: my devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. So as we were just mentioning, Anapekshaha. Anapekshaha means neutral, and it also means who does not struggle for earning money or earning livelihood. Shuchihi we mentioned, and Dakshaha, he is Dakshaha, that is expert. Why he is expert? Because he is aware of the goal of every action. He knows that whatever I am doing, it is to please the Supreme Lord. He is completely aware of this fact, and that is why whatever he does, he tries to do it with absolute perfection. That is why he is expert. And then Udasinaha. So Udasinaha means he is free from care. That is, he does not care his own self, the external self. And also that he does not take side of anyone. So he is Udasinaha. And then Gatavyathaha. Gatavyathaha means he does not suffer from any distress. Why? Because as we mentioned, that he is aware that he is not this body. So he is nirmamaha nirahankaraha. So he is sarvopadhi vinirmuktam. Sarvopadhi, all the upadhis, the designations associated with this material body, he is free from all. So he does not feel the suffering of the body. That is why gatavyathaha. Then 20 is sarvarambha parityagi. That is anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam. So there is no endeavor from his side for any material activity. That is why sarvarambha parityagi. He is not endeavoring for any material activities anymore. And number 21 is na hrishyati na dveshti. Na dveshti. Na hrishyati na dveshti. So in 5.20, Bhagavan says that na prahishyit priyam prapya no dvijit prapya cha priyam. Sthira buddhir asammudhaha brahmavid brahmani sthitaha. So, a very similar. See, that verse and this character is the same. Who is not elated on receiving something which is very dear to him, which he wanted. Okay, I haven't recited it. Next verse, it is verse 17. यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान्यः स मे प्रियः. Synonyms. Yaha, one who, na, never, hrishyati, takes pleasure, na, never, dveshti, grieves, na, never, shochati, laments, na, never, kankshati, desires, shubha, of the auspicious, ashubha, and the inauspicious, parityagi, renouncer, bhaktiman, devotee, yaha, one who, saha, he is, me, to me, priyam, dear. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. So, na hrishyati na dveshti. And then Bhagavan says, na shochati na kankshati. He does not lament, nor desires anything. And then shubha ashubha parityagi. He does not bother about auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. Bhaktiman yaha sa me priyaha. So these are a few more qualities that is enumerated here. And then the next verse we will recite. Next two verses together, 18 and 19. Here we see that this point samaha, this samaha, that is equal. So that we also started as point number 6. So this point we can take as a common point. Samaha. Okay, let me recite it first. Samashatrau cha mitre cha tatha manapamanayoho shitoshna sukha dukkheshu samah sanga vivarjitaha tulya nindastutir mauni santushto yena kenachit aniketa sthiramatir bhaktiman me priyo naraha. Synonyms: Samaha, equal; Shatrau, to an enemy; Cha, also; Mitre, to a friend; Cha, also; Tatha, so; Mana, in honor; Apamanayoho, in dishonor; Shita, in cold; Ushna, heat; Sukha, happiness; Dukkheshu, and distress; Samaha, equipoised; Sanga vivarjitaha, free from all association; Tulya, equal; Ninda, in defamation; Stutihi, and repute; Mauni, silent; Santushtaha, satisfied; Yena kenachit, with anyone; Aniketaha, having no residence; Sthira, fixed; Matihi, determination; Bhaktiman, engaged in devotion; Me, to me; Priyaha, dear; Naraha, a man. Translation: One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. So samaha, samaha in different opposites, like shatraucha mitrecha. So he is equal to both enemies and friends, because as we just said, Maitraha, he is friendly to everyone because he can see the presence of the Lord in everybody. So there is no question of enmity with anyone. And mana apamanayoho, as he is nirahankaraha, he is devoid of false ego. So he is not agitated by fame or infamy. If anyone applauds him, then also he is resting at peace in this world only. And even if anybody criticizes, then also his mental peace is not disturbed. And then Shita Ushnaha, so in both cold and hot, that is in winter and summer, we can say. And so he is samaha in all situations. And then Sanga Vivarjitaha. Sanga Vivarjitaha, he is he always avoids bad association which are adverse for his devotion. So, Aniketaha means who has no permanent residence. That is, he can live under the tree or a palace, remaining unattached. As we mentioned earlier also, for this, when we were discussing about anapekshaha, okay, so this is because he is always unattached. He is not attached to any material things. So that is why whether he lives under the tree or lives in a palace, it is equal for him. And then sthiramatihi, that is, his intelligence is fixed in God. So these are the qualities of a devotee the Lord Himself has enumerated here. And then He concludes this chapter as well as this Shatka, that is the middle 6 chapters, which started from chapter 7, ends with chapter 12. So this is the verse. Let us recite. Ye tu dharmamritamidam yathoktam pariyupasate shraddadhana matparama bhaktastetiva me priyaha. Synonyms. Ye, those who, tu, but, dharma, of religion, amritam, nectar, idam, this, yatha, as, uktam, said, pariyupasate, completely engage, shraddadhanaha, with faith, matparamaha, taking me, the Supreme Lord, as everything, bhaktaha, devotees, te, they, ateva, very, very, me, to me, priyaha, dear. Translation. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Here, after enumerating the qualities of a devotee, Bhagavan is giving his conclusion, his opinion. So we see that, as Bhagavan is saying here, Mat Parama, that is, who considers the Lord, me, that is Krishna, the Supreme Lord, as everything. He is Mat Parama, that is, as Bhagavan is saying, Mat Parama. So we see the beautiful journey of this Shatka, the middle 6 chapters, as we just said. The Lord started in 7.1 as Maya Sakta Manaha Partha Yogam Yunjan Vadashrayaha Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Jnasyasi Tachrinu. So Maya Sakta Manaha. So this is a journey from Maya Sakta Manaha to Mat Paramaha. And Madashrayaha, Yogam Yundashrayaha. Madashrayaha that is mat means my, ashrayah. So in consciousness of me, that is Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. So that madashrayah to ativa me priyaha. So Bhagavan says here that who make me as the supreme goal of life, that is mat parama. So that means he has taken shelter, or he is in my consciousness. So mat ashraya to ativa me priyaha. This is the journey. So it took 6 long chapters to come to this conclusion, but the essence is very same, we see. So as we see, this Shataka, these 6 chapters, has only one tune, that is Bhagavad tune. And we see the first Shatka, that is Karma Shatka 1 to 6, chapter 1 to chapter 6. That Shatka was centered around Jiva, that is we, the living entities. And the focus of Karma Shatka was on the principles of ups and downs, sensitivity, intelligence, expansion of human on the basis of society, nation, body, etc., etc. But this second Shatka, Bhakti Shatka, it is centered around Ishvara. And here we see the focus is on the soul, super soul, superior, inferior nature, that is Aparaprakriti, Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti, devotional service, surrender, that is Atmanivedana, glorification of the cosmic form, Vishvarupa, the devotees, as we see here, and the testing, the nectar of devotion, bhakti rasa, asvadana. So all things were very elaborately discussed by the Lord in these 6 chapters. And we see a very special feature of this Shatka, which is the very life of this Shatka, is Atmanirdeshana. That is, the Lord is indicating to himself, that is the application we see, the application of different Shabda Rupam of Asmad Pada in Ekavachanam, singular number. That is Aham, Mam, Mama. So this is very interesting, particularly in this Shataka. As Bhagavan clearly says, Arjuna, yes, it is me. As we know that it is not possible to see the Lord without His mercy. And He Himself says repeatedly here that by Ananya Bhakti only it is possible to see Him. So Bhagavan gives the proof also through Arjuna's experience. And we see, if we consider that by an example, that is knowing the moon from the aspect of sun. So it is like knowing the self from the aspect of God. So we are knowing ourselves, the Jiva, as Arjuna is representing Jiva. So Jiva is knowing himself from the aspect of God. So that is the speciality of this Shatka, and that is why this Aham, Mam, Mama, this Shabdarupam are used repeatedly by the Lord. And we see the next Shatka, that is the last 6 chapters, which is known as Jnana Shatka. It is for the nourishment of bhakti. For the nourishment of bhakti, knowledge is required. So that will be the connection between these two Shatka. And we see that as Bhagavan says in the last, that is 11th chapter, in verse 54, that bhaktya tvananyaya shakya aham evam vidhorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum cha parantapa. So jnatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum cha parantapa. So this is the sequence. First you have to know me, jnatum tattvena, the knowledge, the complete knowledge, tattvena, the complete knowledge is required. That is a step 1. And when you have complete knowledge, then you become eligible to see the Lord, drashtum cha tattvena, and then pravishtum cha parantapa. As we see, as Bhagavan said in 7.1 also, asamshayam samagram mam yatha jnasyasi tachrinu. So he told about this knowledge in many places in Bhagavad Gītā, especially in these last few chapters. We see the first 3 starting from 7 chapters, first 4, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. These 4 chapters basically deals with jnatum, that is knowledge. And that is why Bhagavan uses the term, this dhaturupam, in different places. That is asamshayam samagram mam yatha jnasyasi tachrinu, jnasyasi. And then he again says in 7.30, Mam viduhu. So with dhatu, viduhu. With the and jnatu almost same. The essence is same, that is knowing. And then in chapter 8, there is a glimpse of attaining the Lord along with knowledge. When Bhagavan says in 8.15, Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramāṅgata. So there is a glimpse of attaining the Lord, a possibility of attaining the Lord. So if I do this, if I follow this, I may attain the Lord. I will be able to attain the Lord. So this glimpse is also there. And in 8.16 also Bhagavan says, Mam upetya tu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. Again and again he is assuring. And in 8.10 also, Samam param purusham upaiti divyam. And 8.21, Yam prapya nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. So if you can attain my dham, my abode, you will not return to this material world again. And in 8.28, Sarvam idam viditva yogim param sthanam upaiti chadyam. So viditva. So Sarvam idam viditya. After knowing all this completely, the yogi goes to that realm, to my abode. So this glimpse of assurance is even more prominent in 9th chapter, when Bhagavan says in 9.1, Yajñatva mokshase ashubhat. So if you know this, you will be free from all inauspiciousness. He will get rid of all inauspiciousness. Moksha se ashubhat. And then in 9.31 also, Bhagavan says, Name bhaktaha pranashyati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktaha pranashyati. So that is the most, it is the strongest assurance the Lord gives here in this Shataka is this verse. And then the glimpse of bhajana also we can see, that is the process of worshipping. As in 9.13 he says, Bhajanti ananya manasa. And this ananya term, as we discussed earlier also, ananya, that is undeviated, one-pointed, it is very, very important. Very important. Bhajanti ananya manasa. So one-pointed devotion. Then 9.30, Bhajate mam ananya bhak. And in 10.8, as Bhagavan says, Aham sarvasya prabhava. And this is the journey from to 10.42 when Bhagavan says, Ekam shena sthito jagat. So Aham sarvasya prabhava mattas sarvam pravartate. So that verse states about that the Lord is the essence of everything. And 10.42, Ekam shena sthito jagat, that Arjuna, you need not to know much. Now just know this, by one fragment of my energy, I am holding this entire created universe. So this entire universe is resting upon 1/4 of my energy. That is Ekapada Vibhuti. So we see that after this Jnatum, Arjuna wishes to see the Lord, Drashtum, in 11th chapter. In 11.3, Arjuna says, Drashtum ichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. Because, and there we can see this, by this address Purushottama, we can see Arjuna has acquired the sufficient knowledge by which he can conclude that the Lord is everything. So perfect knowledge he has acquired. And that is the eligibility of seeing the Lord. So that is why this addressing Purushottama is very significant, that Arjuna understood, that is Tattvena. Jnatum Tattvena is proved here. So Drashtum ichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. And then in 11.15 he says, Pashyami devam tava devatehe. So, and then in chapter 12 we see Pravishtum, entering. So that is the Dakshina for Pravishtum is this verse, this 12.20, the last verse of this chapter. As Bhagavan clearly says, Ye tu dharmamritamidam yathoktam paryupasate shraddhadhanamat parama bhaktaste ativa me priya. So this is the Dakshina for Pravishtum. So it is actually very interesting the way Bhagavan describes this entire process of bhakti in these 6 chapters specifically, definitely in other places also, in Karma Shatka and in Jnana Shatka also, but these middle 6 chapters are very, very precious. And here we see the journey, the beautiful journey of the progressive march of a bhakta, of a devotee. Jnatum, drashtum cha, pravishtum cha parantapa. Okay, so with this we will close today's session, and in our next session we will start a new chapter, a new theme altogether, as we just mentioned, that is to give nourishment to bhakti, the knowledge which is required, that the Lord will impart in the last 6 chapters, which is known as Jnana Shatka. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण।